Hi, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a professional artist who is completely self-taught, and I have been working as an artist for about 10 years now, 11 years now, who's counting really. In this video, I'm going to share how I challenged 3 of my self-limiting beliefs as an artist by having my very first solo exhibition. So the first limiting belief happened when I was 8 years old. I really liked drawing when I was a kid, and when I was 8 years old, I was drawing, and this grown-up came and asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I said I wanted to draw. And she said, "Oh, you mean you want to be an artist?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, if artists draw every day, then that's what I want to be, an artist." And she said, "Artists don't make any money, and you should go and do something else instead." And being 8 years old and not knowing any better, I basically listened to this grown-up and completely forgot that I wanted to be an artist, and I basically stopped drawing for the fun of it. The second limiting belief started when I was 13, 14 years old, and this was in secondary school in Singapore. I would say it's the equivalent of 7th and 8th grade based on the US system. So from first grade till 7th to 8th grade, we would have weekly art classes in school, and every week we had to turn in an assignment, and we get graded for that assignment, usually out of 10. So on average, I would probably get like 6, 7 out of 10 for art. Rarely would I get an 8 out of 10. When I was younger, I don't think it bothered me all that much, but when I was 13 or 14, there were people in my class who were known for being really good at art, and they would always get like 8, 9 out of 10 for their art assignments. And even when I did an assignment that I thought was really good, I would still get 6 or 7 out of 10. So I never understood why my art was graded lower than theirs. All I knew was that everyone saw them as the artistic students in the class, whereas I was never seen as one of those. And so I kind of concluded to myself that just because I didn't get an A for art, obviously it means that I'm not an artist. Nobody recognized I was an artist. My grades did not reflect that. The teacher obviously did not see that. My peers did not see that. So therefore, I am not an artist. The third limiting belief started when I was 28. I was in my final semester studying music, business, and songwriting in America. I did a drawing class that last semester just before I graduated, just because I was kind of going through this quarter life crisis where I wasn't sure if what I had studied was really the thing that I wanted to build a career out of. And this was the same crisis that I had with my earlier degree in Singapore when I was in my early 20s. So here I was at 28 with 2 bachelor degrees, and I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. And I did this drawing class in my last semester, and I had this flashback, this really surreal flashback of that moment when I was 8 years old, and I was told that artists don't make money and I should go and do something else instead. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, what if I was meant to be an artist all along? And so with a lot of inspiration and encouragement from my art professor at the time, who really believed in my artistic ability, even though I did not believe in myself at all, I moved to New York City for 1 year to try and be an artist. But when I was there, every time I sat down to try to draw something, I would just be completely at a loss on where to even begin, what media to use, what do I even want to draw. I was so stuck and just didn't know what to do that I started getting into my own head again and thinking about how, I have 2 degrees, but if I hadn't done those degrees, if I had done art instead when I was 19, 20 years old, I would have graduated by the time I was in my early 20s. I would have already started working as an artist, and by the time I was 28, I would already be sort of, established enough as a young artist and be somewhere by then. But instead, the reality that I was facing was that here I am at 28, did not go to art school, have 2 degrees that I'm not going to be doing anything with. And basically, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back to art school again. And even if I did, I would be so far behind everyone else who's going to be 10 years younger than I am. And I just felt like it was just too late for me to be an artist. So if you look at these 3 limiting beliefs, right, that artists don't make money, that because I didn't do well for art in school, I am not an artist, and that, having not gone to art school is too late to be an artist. Intellectually, we know that none of these beliefs are true. Intellectually, we know, and we have seen examples all around us on the internet and in real life as well, that there are artists who are making a living with their art. And chances are some of them did not get A for art in school, and also some of them did not study art in university. So obviously, intellectually, when we look at the world objectively, we know that these limiting beliefs are not true. But why is it then that they still have such a hold on us? And these limiting beliefs are not just intellectually formed, they are a combination of like emotional, psychological, all kinds of factors that make us human and that leads us to develop these beliefs. And it's not that simple to just like read a self-help book or to watch a motivational video and just, you can't just get over it basically. And the only way that we can really deal with our limiting beliefs is to challenge them and to do something that proves to ourselves that it is not true. So this is something that even if you see other examples of people who have broken through the similar kind of limiting belief, it's not going to have quite the same effect as when you take action and do something that you thought was impossible for you and challenge that belief on your own terms. For myself, that came in the form of my very first solo exhibition, which took place in February of 2013. Having my solo exhibition is something that has been a dream of mine for many years. But for a very long time, I thought that it was impossible for me because I thought that in order to have a solo exhibition, an artist needed to have gone to art school, have, reached a certain level or caliber in your artwork, and then you approach galleries and then they give you a solo exhibition. That was my thinking back then in 2012. So within these 2 months that I had for my exhibition, I painted 30 brand new paintings from scratch. I had not been productive at all for the last 2 years of trying to be an artist. Okay, I would say that 2 months I was a lot more productive than the last 2 years at that time. I also did a crowdfunding campaign to raise $2,000 for the cost of my exhibition, like hiring the venue and paying for like refreshments and stuff like that for the opening party. I also invited as many people as I could, like from my Facebook contacts, from my email contacts, like whoever I was still in touch with in Singapore. I just tried to like reconnect with them and invite them to come to this exhibition. And I also had to figure out how to even organize an exhibition because I didn't have much experience with organizing events, let alone an art exhibition. So that was also like a learning curve for me right there. So it was crazy. It was the hardest 2 months that I had ever gone through for a long time, where I was really working hard on making my dream come true. And the exhibition week came around. For my opening event itself, the opening party for this exhibition, I had about 100 people show up and I was just blown away. At one point, the venue was just full of people. I couldn't believe it. Within the first night of the exhibition, the opening night, I already sold 5 or 6 paintings. And then over the course of the week of the exhibition, a total of 17 out of 30 paintings were sold. I made a total of $4,000, and I just could not believe it that had happened. So obviously right there and then, I challenged all 3 of my limiting beliefs that I shared earlier in this video. The first one, that I thought that artists can't make money, well, I basically proved myself wrong because I made money from selling my art during that week of my exhibition. And I realized that I was the one that was holding on to that belief that I needed to have that external validation of someone in authority saying that my art is good in order for me to actually believe that about myself and my work. But the reality of it is that chances are your grade school or middle school art teacher is not even a practicing artist themselves. They may not even have gone to art school themselves. So who are they even to say whether your art deserves an A or not? And if you're going to let that grade define who you are as an artist, then it's kind of silly, isn't it? But then again, I know that intellectually you get it, but only when you actually take action to prove to yourself that your belief was wrong, then you can really start to shift that mindset and shift that belief. Obviously, the third thing that I saw was that, well, I didn't go to art school, but I still managed to have an exhibition, and I didn't even need a gallery to have an exhibition. So that also transformed my way of seeing how I can go about being an artist. You don't just have to exhibit through a gallery. If you want to have an exhibition, there are many ways to have an exhibition, and you can be as creative as you want. So that's pretty much how I challenged my 3 limiting beliefs as an artist by having my first solo exhibition. I want to encourage you to challenge your limiting beliefs beliefs, whatever they are, as an artist, as a person, anything that you feel and know that has been holding you back and stopping you, start examining what is underneath these limiting beliefs. Like knowing where they came from, knowing how they came about is really helpful. And when you dig deeper into them and kind of start to understand where they come from and specifically how do they stop you, then you are better able to figure out a way to challenge those limiting beliefs for yourself. If you have questions or if you want to comment on anything that I've shared in this video, feel free to put them in the comments. Subscribe to my channel for more content on how to create the best art career for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.